How you guys doing? Bunny has legs. It's a nice name. Iron Sword. How you doing? And a little bit late today. Sorry I had to hang out with my daughter this morning. It's Daddy Daughter Day. They made me fight for her. They did. They made me fight for her. The harder you fight, the harder you fight for something, the more you value it. If I didn't have to fight, I bet I'd just be like, "Go run off, little daughter. Go with mommy." And so, oops. Movies and treasures. How you doing? Good morning. We got our first giveaway up there. It's a Sunday morning. This morning I'm having a mix. Flap Caliph gave me some Katuai coffee, and I mixed it with my white. I did want to show you the difference in bean size. Even though, so I did want to show you this. I think it's interesting. Kind of really, and this is so. So you got this is our extra fancy white roasted super light, and this is their light Katuai. So I'll put them side by side. So it really shows you the difference in bean quality here. Even roasted darker, the beans are significantly smaller. I don't know if I can show you this. So this on the left is the Katuai. This on the right is our extra fancy. You can see, these beans, they're kind of small. They are way less dense, you could tell. Look at how perfectly dense these are. Whereas these are much smaller. A lot of little chipped beans like that. So just thought I'd show you that. So Kona beans, these extra fancy beans are just far superior in quality. Milford, which roast did you get, and which bean grade did you get? Yeah, these beans are they really are, and it's impossible for me to convey to you the difference. I'm I am confident enough to know that 99.9% of you, when you try this coffee, you're gonna be like, wow, I did not know coffee can taste like this. I was the same way. I didn't really drink coffee. But once you try this, you have to try it. I can spend all day, every day talking about it. And, you know, you probably just think I'm a salesman. So you ultimately just got to try the coffee. That's why we do these samples. Um, I've mixed the white with all the other ones, and the white with the other ones is awesome. And Anzu, I did send out your coffee, all of it yesterday. You get like a ton of coffee all at once. So hopefully you enjoy that too. Probably get there on Monday or Tuesday. A lot of people. Yep, we can do a larger bag. Izzy, good morning. And so the one I would start with is the dark, just because the dark coffee is the one most of you guys are used to. It's gonna be the closest to the coffee that you guys have been drinking, just without the bitterness, without the burn flavors, without the potential for acid reflux. And I can actually tell you that because, we're not allowed to sell coffee based on its health benefits. We can't sell you what's in the coffee necessarily. I mean, I can talk about it, but it gets a little bit dicey. But I can tell you this coffee is guaranteed not to hurt your gut because of what's not in it. So, what's not in this coffee? First off, there's no tannins in this coffee. You got the white. All right, Izzy. Hopefully, yep, it will not give you GERD. My wife, the same way, she has GERD, and anytime she drinks any other coffee, her stomach hurts. This coffee, she can actually drink, but you'll have to decide for yourself. I have had people who drank our coffee, and one person out of 1,000, it still hurt their stomach, and I had to give their money back. Hopefully, you bought a lot. You bought I think you bought like 9 pounds. So hopefully, hopefully that doesn't happen to you. We had a larger bag of the dark. I also have a larger bag. You want a 3-pound bag of the dark? I give you 3 pounds today. I'll give it to you for the next 15 seconds. Get 3 pounds for $75. But I can't do those $1 starts. But this is the biggest bag. Is the 3-pounder. It's 4 12-ounce bags, and this dark roast. Here we go. We'll give you a buzz. What sucks about this coffee maker is it always tastes like soap. When it tastes good, it's good. Now I also have 100% Kona here. This one was roasted about 8 days ago now and putting on sale for 21. I can do them sometimes, just not on the big bags. Hey, Exity, how you doing? How's the Hilo side today? How's the weather out there? JD, how you doing? You saw me back with the communists. I prefer a pour over, but I find drip. It is a McFrosty. I got all of us thinking about our marriages. It's hard work. It's not easy. I will take a look at that. Send me that and whatever I still owe you. I'll take care of it. Throw her to the curb. Yeah, if it's that easy, right? Especially when you have a kid. Especially when she's listening. She's listening. Don't get me started today. She's listening. And we're on live simulcast to YouTube, and those videos are recorded, so I gotta watch what I say these days. I'm on tape here. So again, why don't we start with the Hawaiian Dark? So if you guys are just joining me for the first time, I'm a Kona coffee farmer out on the Big Island of Hawaii. We farm everything organically. I've been farming coffee for 12 years. We've had some highs and lows. I roast a lot of coffee. I developed these roasts specifically to cut down on gut issues and to give you a buzz, a really strong buzz. And you have little kids think I'm funny. My daughter thinks I'm funny. They love mommy. So, if you want your kids, you gotta make sure mommy's okay. That's what my wife says. She says you gotta take care of me if you want to take care of your kid. And I resist it, and it's pointless. It's stupid to resist it. She needs to get whatever she needs. It's the bottom line. All right. My daughter's 3. She's 3 now. Time flies. And she's so sweet. All right, so this is our 2-ounce Hawaiian dark. So all of our coffee is grown on the Big Island of Hawaii, on the west side, on the Kona coast. Well, I just follow my wife around, so I follow her. This is our home. My home is my wife and my daughter. The farm is not my home. That's just where I do my work. It's where I pack the coffee, whack the weeds. a lot of hand weeding. All right, so harvest the zucchini. That's right. And I got some eggplants going, and I got some turmeric flowers getting ready for you guys. I can't wait for the turmeric flowers. That stuff packs a punch on your joints. It's amazing. It kind of gets you a little bit high too. Flowers are powerful stuff. Anyway, but some of you guys may not agree with the whole getting high thing, and I totally understand that. My wife is like that. She's like, you need to. She's like a Buddhist. She's just like, you need to be enlightened, and I'm like, I just want to live my life. 20 pounds at a time, Izzy. Sometimes 10 pounds. I'm doing more of those, more videos. Anyway, here's another dark sampler. So, but the farm is on the west side of Kona. It's up in the mountains. We have very specific weather, which makes this the ideal place, not according to my wife, right? Enlightened is when you could do it, induce it in yourself at will. High is when you need external substance. I'm just like, just let me live my life. But she wants me to be the best. She's like Jesus. She wants me to be the best that I can be. All right, guys, 2 ounce Hawaiian dark sampler. This is the one you want to get if you've never tried our coffee before. You know, it's gonna be like a toasted caramel. You don't have to really add cream or sugar into this. It's already got a ton of sugar, and that's because of how we pick the coffee. So even though we have the best climate for growing the coffee and that makes our beans larger, coffee is a fruit that grows on trees. And like any fruit, if you pick it too early, it's going to be sour and bitter no matter how large you got that fruit to grow. And that's really the simplest thing to explain why this coffee is good. It's just how we pick it. All this coffee is grown on these small 6-acre farms. We pick all the coffee by hand, whereas most of the coffee you guys are drinking, especially any coffee that's less than 20 bucks a bag, guaranteed to be picked with a machine. Guaranteed. And when you pick coffee with a machine, something like 20% of the beans are going to be unripe, and unripe coffee tastes like any other unripe fruit. Imagine waking up every morning and religiously drinking a cup of, unripe orange juice, where 20% of the oranges were made from green oranges. Sounds ridiculous, but that's what you're doing with your coffee, so it's not ridiculous. Fairway Market, Superstorm Sandy, that was a big one. I was actually on a cruise for Superstorm Sandy. We took it from Manhattan all the way down to the Caribbean. So we actually sailed through the storm, and that was the most intense 3 days on a ship I've ever had. Yeah, we were like literally like flying off the bed because like the boats would tip like this much. It was crazy. It was amazing. It was a experience. All right, this should be $4. So if no takers for the samplers, another one of you guys get it for $1. The light roast is a lot sweeter than the light roast you guys are used to drinking. Light roast is considered what you want to drink if you're more of a coffee connoisseur. Um, as you get more advanced and experienced, it didn't feel like we were in any danger. It was a big ship, so it was just everyone was sick, seasick, because just the amount of you couldn't even walk straight. It was just like the boat was tilting so much. It was amazing. I have a lot of faith, Lisa. You wouldn't even believe it. All right, so thanks for bidding up to 4. There you go. This is Poseidon, a little bit like that. You guys remember when Caligula beat the oceans to defeat Poseidon? I actually think Caligula was the secret son of Jesus, but we don't need to go into that either. There's a lot. He was the secret son. Imagine if your dad was Jesus, you might turn out like Caligula. You ever meet those rich kids whose dads are like amazing, amazing at whatever they do. Like just the best, whatever, best writer, best banker. The kids are messed up. You ever meet those kids? They got issues. All right. Do I have a medium roast here? I I only have medium estate, but I will run those. So the different grades of coffee you guys are seeing in my shop, we have a Hawaiian, which is all grown in Kona. It's just the least dense beans, 14/64 of an inch, still bigger than the beans you guys are getting in the store. Oh, I do have some medium Hawaiians. You guys are in luck here. This is a medium here. 2 ounce samples make you 4 8-ounce cups. In reality, you're getting more than 2 ounces. You're getting like 2.5 ounces. And here's our medium. The medium tastes like a raisinette. It, your medium roast doesn't have the nuttiness of the light roast. It's more developed. As you roast coffee darker, it actually cracks twice. Our light roast is just into first crack. Our medium roast between first and second crack, about 425 degrees. The coffee starts becoming water soluble. The sweetness starts to develop. Roasting coffee is like roasting an onion. As you roast it darker, the sweetness comes out, but the subtle flavors start to caramelize. The potency goes away, and it just becomes a sweet sort of caramel. And coffee's the same way. So that the medium roast, you still taste some of the subtle flavors of the region. Our medium is maybe more towards a blonde roast that you guys are used to drinking, maybe a little bit darker than the blonde. Our dark roast is more like a medium, especially if you're drinking Starbucks coffee. And our light roast is, a light, a typical light, but doesn't have the sourness. Most light roasts are too sour to drink, but our light roast is not sour, and that distinguishes our coffee from other coffees. It's just the lack of sourness. And so you guys have gone through the Hawaiian grade coffees. The next one I'm going to do very close to Hawaiian, sometimes indistinguishable. Sometimes the Hawaiian beans even look bigger, but they are slightly denser beans. And so the next grade up is our Kona Estate. The estate coffee combined means it comes off a single farm. This one's coming off a 30-acre farm. It's a bigger farm. Very sweet, well milled, less than 1% defects, whereas Hawaiian coffee can have up to 30% defects. Defective bean is a crack or a chip in the bean. This Kona estate has almost zero defects to it, and it was roasted about herbal artists. You are kicking ass on your sales. I got to try some of your saffron. I've been meaning to try saffron for a long time. I read during COVID, all those Iranians were dying from COVID at higher rates because they ate saffron. So, but I want to try it anyway. So anyway, this is 8 ounce on sale. It's on sale because it's 8 days old. Our coffee's a little bit. This batch we got an extra 100 pounds roasted on each of the light and the dark one. I only needed about 40, so I had. That's why this is on sale right now. It's getting to be 8 days old, which is actually not old, but it's old for our coffee. We try to do our coffee less than a week, always, sometimes just a few days. This one's about 8 days, whereas the coffee you guys are buying in the stores, supermarkets, online, probably 12 months, 14 months, even 17 months old. If you see a Best By date on the bag that says, let's say September 2026, you think you're doing well, but actually that bag of coffee was sitting on the shelf roasted for anywhere from 9 to 15 months if it was 3 months out, because the shelf life of coffee it's a long time, and that's why a lot of times you drink coffee in your mouth, starts to bloom. You know what I'm saying? It's okay. It's not gross. All right. It's still shelf stable. It's not gross, but it's not great. It's not ideal. Coffee is like a cookie. And yesterday we had some that crumbsy cookies. Coffee is like a cookie. Lion's mane, brain luma. I need to shut my brain down. I don't want my brain functioning anymore. I just need to shut it down. Do you have anything to shut my brain down? I need to function at a lower percentage. Saffron. I need that. I gotta go check it out. I need to shut my brain down. My brain's too much already. That's why I could never do any stimulants. If give me I'm like, this is just making me feel like I normally feel. Except now I'm sweaty. I need to shut it down. All right, guys. So my point being, even our oldest coffee, 8 days old, ridiculously not old. Uh, you got the bean quality? Awesome. All right. So that's our dark estate, and then I'm gonna do same thing, light medium estate. I only have I think I have like 30 pounds of each left, so the sale probably go through depending on what I can sell. The medium though has a longer shelf life. Medium, you want to actually rest it for up to 2 weeks. So this is still in the resting period for the medium. You need to rest coffee because when you roast coffee, all sorts of chemical changes happens. You actually expel a lot of carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, and hydrogen gas. And as you let the coffee sit, especially keep it sealed, some of that hydrogen gas will actually react with the coffee aromas and actually fix, because hydrogen is a the most powerful antioxidant there is, just that gas. That's how you get rid of rust. In many cases, you can pickle, what we call pickle metals by soaking it in hydrogen gas. It gets rid of rust, point defects, things like that. So hydrogen is a very strong uh, antioxidant, and as a strong antioxidant, it will also react with your your oxidized compounds in the coffee and cause them to settle down. So that's part of the resting process. Sorry, I'm just looking for my medium Hawaiian. I can't find it. Here it is. That's part of the resting process is that hydrogen, and then letting the carbon monoxide out, letting the carbon dioxide out. Those will also sweeten the coffee. So you have to let the coffee gases degas. You have to let some of the chemistry settle down, and then you get this ideal sweet toasted flavor. For the dark roast, you're talking about a week, whereas your light roast or medium roast, you're talking about 2 weeks or so. What is the optimal time? So with your light roast, up to 2 months. Sometimes the coffee continues to sweeten. With a dark roast, between a week and a month and a half. With your medium roast, 2 weeks and about 2 months. And that's like ideal. I don't think it's formaldehyde. It's this other. It's called acetic ethyl acetate, which actually is a solvent that comes from processing sugarcane. So it's still. I don't think it's terrible for you, but it can be kind of bad. It's a chemical solvent, but apparently it's coming from sugarcane. Ethyl acetate is what it is. So I don't think it's as bad as we want to think it is. It might be. I don't know. They also use carbon dioxide. Supercritical is carbon dioxide, is which when you pressurize carbon dioxide, so it becomes a liquid, almost like dry ice. That's the cleanest way to do it. You can also use water to do it. That's the Swiss water method. But no matter how you do it, it actually gets rid of some of the compounds that make make you live longer. A lot of the antioxidants come out. All the trigonylene comes out, so your trigonylene is gone. And we've been talking about trigonylene for a long time, right? We've been talking about. I'm posting some videos on YouTube in case you want kind of to learn specifically about trigonylene, which is the other alkaloid in coffee. It's the alkaloid in coffee that explains the health benefits, and there are a lot of health benefits to coffee. Um, diabetes, neuropathy. The shiny beans are roasted darker, and once in a our extra fancy dark is a little bit shiny because it's more oily. So if you want the oils, our extra fancy dark, it does have oils on it. The rest of our coffee isn't roasted quite dark enough. But trigonylene is the key ingredient in coffee. It's not caffeine. Trigonylene is methylated niacin. It improves muscle growth. That's why you see people who drink a lot of coffee. They're always, they're always pretty lean. You ever notice that? Not always, but very often. Especially if you're drinking a lighter roast. So it improves your metabolism, your muscle, um, your muscle strength. Roasting time between white and light is only about a 5 minute difference. Look up trigonylene here, because I'm not supposed to like really go into it to sell the coffee. I can tell you, this is in coffee. So trigonylene is a key alkaloid. It's methylated B3. This alkaloid, which is 1 to 3% of the green coffee bean, most of it is gone by the time you get to a dark coffee, and that's why dark coffee just isn't as healthy for you. But the white coffee has maybe, you know 90% of it is still active. Trigonylene, look it up, and then just type in trigonylene with whatever you're interested in. People have been drinking it, and they found it seems to work. But you gotta ask other people in the chat. So the white coffee is the one that has the highest concentration of trigonylene. I specifically roasted the white coffee to maximize the trigonylene. Trigonylene is highly volatile. At 250 degrees, it becomes something called methylamine, which is the meth part of methamphetamine. It's only a tiny bit of it, but that's why coffee gives you that head buzz. It's not just caffeine, it's trigonylene. And here's a 8-ounce bag of our. We only have this in extra fancy right now, so it's only those are the beans that I showed you. They're the perfect beans. They're bigger than any of the beans you guys are getting in the stores. Ah, I spilled the beans. I hate when I spill the beans. But here's the I spilled the beans. But here, these are the beans. There's some poop out here too. So these are the beans that you guys are. These are the extra fancy white. This is a light roast of a Maui Katuai, and you can see the bean quality far higher on ours. There you go, Iron Sword. That's a really good article there. Goes through everything. So it's being clinically studied. Hey, Dave Shoes. It's being clinically studied for a lot of stuff. I can't sell the coffee as a supplement, but it's worth researching, kind of just to give yourself some motivation, I guess. And if you get me to 600 shares, I'll do an 8-ounce bag of dark estate giveaway. All right, so the white coffee is the concentrated coffee. It gives you a really nice buzz. Thanks, Leslie. I appreciate that. It is really good coffee, mainly because of how we pick it. We pick all of our coffee by hand, and not only are we picking by hand, but we're paying our pickers. Some pickers are making $30 an hour picking this coffee. We pay by the pound. So if you're really slow, the average person you find off the street, they're only picking maybe 5 pounds of raw coffee in an hour, and that translates to if you're picking 5 pounds of raw coffee, it's half a pound of roasted coffee. We're paying them. Some places are paying you $2 a pound, which is crazy. I think average price is like $1 to $1.50. So They're only making 7.50 a pound. If you're picking 5 pounds an hour, which is not enough, they're gonna quit after just 1 or 2 hours. It's not easy. But the really good people, and anyone can be good. It's just a matter of being focused, being paced, not and only picking the coffee that falls off to the touch, like targeting the trees, being strategic about what you pick. It's actually kind of a head game. Those people can pick 25, sometimes 30 pounds an hour, and they're making a good, they're making 25, 30, $35 an hour. And those pickers are the ones you need. You need to get like three or four of those pickers. They need to go through your farm. They're only picking the maroons, the deep reds, the purples, the browns, the coffee that falls off to the touch. And if you find one of those people, your coffee's going to be the sweetest coffee you can get. If you get a person who doesn't know what they're doing, your coffee's still going to be sour and bitter, unfortunately. I'm back. Yeah, the Mexicans are the best at picking. I mean, you'll get five Mexicans and only four of them are picking, and one of them is like has a bag of water bottles. They're like a basketball team, and they're just going through. And one of them, you got four people picking, and one of them's going through the field looking for the next tree, and they're like, "You go over there, you go over there," and so they're just so fast. It's crazy. No thumbs up. Apparently, it's also good for kid. It's good for everything, but I don't want to. I'm not a doctor, so I'm not going to recommend. But you guys should know coffee, the common denominator for people who live longer and healthier lives, coffee or beans. So if you don't eat beans and you don't drink coffee, your health is going to break down at some point because there's this bacteria in our stomach. It's called a butyric acid fermenting bacteria. Butyric acid is a fatty acid. It's a C4 fatty acid. Coconut oil is, I think, a C dodecanol, C12. So it's a short chain fatty acid, and it actually binds with a lot of toxins and flushes them out. And in the process of fermenting that fatty acid, our bodies also produce hydrogen gas, which I mentioned is I put this white coffee on flash sale in the bin for the next 20 minutes if you guys want it. This is the extra fancy grade, which is why it's more expensive. So butyric acid forming bacteria, it needs to be fed, and it mainly eats beans. So if you don't eat beans or you don't drink coffee, that bacteria actually dies in your body. And then after that bacteria is gone, then your skin starts to go. You don't have the antioxidants you need. Just all sorts of problems start piling up. Mac, hopefully you're recovered, had a good rest. Maybe had some coffee this morning. I don't know. And so that's why coffee is so good for you. And trigonelline is a compound in there. It's methylated vitamin B3. So it's methylated niacin, really good for us. And that's it's not the caffeine. You can't drink a monster drink and feel the way you feel on caffeine. This, you can drink it, you're gonna feel good, your body's gonna feel good, your mind's gonna feel good, and it's not squeezing energy out of you. It's not borrowing energy from the future. It's feeding your body. It's generating the energy, and it comes with all the antioxidants. So when your body starts, producing all the waste when it's going into overdrive, you can clear it out. So that's sort of the key. Next item I'm gonna run is a medium pea berry. This is the most expensive and rarest of all our coffees. A pea berry happens at the tips of the trees, and it's a denser bean. Instead of having one fruit per pea berry, it takes over the entire thing. And the pea berry, you know, Kona pea berry, which is a higher grade of pea berry, you can get it if you go to retail. You never want to buy anything retail, right? But retail, you go to the store, you're paying $56 for 7 ounces. You can probably find it for less, but it's still pretty expensive. And so this is our Kona pea berry. About 1% of our coffee comes out as pea berry. It takes 100 pounds to produce 1 pound of pea berry, and the pea berry is smoother. It tastes like it's kind of got like this buttery finish. It's a little bit fruitier, a little bit more potent, just because of how dense it is. The center stays more unroasted. And this is a 2 ounce sampler. Should be like $10, so you actually got a deal on that. Um, doesn't look like we got too much demand on that, so I'll try running it from 6. Thanks for coming on here. Appreciate it. Yesterday, I was saying how even though I like to tell other people about Jesus, I hate when people tell me about Jesus. I'm like a Jesus narcissist. And then I said, when random people on the street come up to me and they try to tell me about Jesus, I think they're racist because I'm like, you look at me, you don't think I know Jesus, but I actually know Jesus a lot. But then if they don't, but then I thought, you know what? If they don't talk to me about Jesus, then I think they're racist too because I'm like, what? You don't think I need to know Jesus? You don't want me to be saved? Is it because I'm Chinese? You don't want to talk to me about Jesus? I'm not worth it. So you can't win with me. You can't win. If you talk to me about Jesus, I'm gonna think you're racist. If you don't talk to me about Jesus, I'm gonna think you're racist. You can't win. I'm sorry, guys. You just can't win. I'm just grumpy. All right. So that was our we did the estate Kona. I have some 2 ounce samples of those estate Konas if you'd like. You can't win. I'm sorry, guys. God made it so you just can't win with me when it comes to Jesus. All right, guys. 2 ounce medium Kona. This is 100% Kona coffee. This one has almost no defects to it. It includes the top 4 grades of coffee: prime, number one, fancy, extra fancy. So it has 16, 17, 18, 19 screen coffee. It's been milled, so it has less than 1% defects. And this is better than the Hawaiian. It's going to be nuttier, a little bit smoother, a little more flavorful. Really good for espresso. So if you guys are making espresso drinks, this one is a really great one to make into an espresso. Almost as good as the extra fancy. Really extracts some of the fruitiness without the sourness. All of our coffee is I'm grumpy because I'm married. All of our coffee is picked by hand. We only pick the coffee that's soft and overripe. We pay our pickers 100 times more than they get paid in other countries. In some countries, hey Kate, good to see you. In some countries, people are getting paid $1 per 100 pounds of coffee that they pick, which is $1 per 10,000 coffee berries. Imagine you're getting paid $1 per 10,000 coffee berries. All right, guys, I'm gonna do $1 start on 3 pounds. I know I shouldn't have done this. 3 pounds of our estate medium. This is deal of the day. So one of you guys can get this for cheap on our website. 3 pounds, 170 bucks, $160 right now with after all the coupons. So you can get this for whatever it goes for, but just don't let the other person get it for 20 bucks. You're only ripping yourself off. But here's the 3 pounds of our estate medium. And this is just on sale because I roasted too much. We're getting into 8 days. I like to keep my coffee less than a week old, so this is I'm just trying to move the rest of it, but it's still really fresh. Estate, this will be, if you're making your espresso, this is the one that the professional espresso cuppers said. This is the one you should get. 53 bucks for 3 pounds, guys. That's not acceptable. Wow. All right. Deal of the day. Deal of the week. I can't do any of these more 3 pounders. You guys are crazy. You guys are crazy. I need to go. I need to go off to the communists. This capitalism isn't working out. If you bought it at the sale price, it'd be 120. I need to go to the communists because capitalism isn't working out here. The bids are too low. The bids are too low. What is this? All right. So, I don't know. That shouldn't have done that 3 pounder. It always throws me off. So, we're just going to start with these small. I got to share the coffee. Hmm. That's what it is right now. You're getting 3 pounds of coffee. That was the more of those I sell, the more money I lose. So, I could sell those all day. And every bag I sell, I'll lose a little bit more money. That's social. Is that socialism? No, because they're gonna make money in socialism, right? I always thought socialism was when the rich people got together and they realized if we let any more new rich people get up here, we're fucked. So we need to just make it socialist. We need to just keep the rich people right now rich and let everyone else rot. That's socialism. No more new rich people. The club is closed. You guys are riding. It's the club is closed. It's okay, Izzy. You don't want to. I feel bad when people pick the coffee. I think that's why people get Mexicans to work for them because you don't have to talk to Mexicans. If I get a bunch of and I talk to everyone I work with now, so but if you get a bunch of Americans working for you, you got to be out there with them. Right? Otherwise, there's just resentment brewing. Everyone's giving you the thumbs up now because, like, what are you, the big boss on the plantation, watching everyone else work? So you got to be out there with them. Otherwise, and you got to be friends with them. Otherwise, they're gonna mutiny. But if you get a bunch of Mexicans working for you, they don't even want to talk to you. They're just there. You pay them. They don't want to talk to you. You don't need to talk to them. Work that's done. You don't have to be friendly. So they're getting paid the same in the end. They're getting paid just as it's not like they're cheap. They're not cheap, but they don't need to talk to you. They're not trying to be your friend. And for some people, the way I used to be, I don't want to talk to anyone. I don't want to be your friend. But now it's like I hire people because I need some friends. I'm like, hey, you want to come work on the farm with me? I got nothing to do tomorrow. We'll go hang out in the field, and, and maybe we'll pick some coffee. That's just a different attitude. All right, guys. I feel like I'm not gonna sell anything else today. I sold some stuff. I'm not really selling that much these days. I don't know exactly what's happening. So here's some extra fancy dark. If you guys want the highest grade of our coffee, the biggest beans, these have a little bit of oil on them. Definitely. Um, the biggest beans that we have, extra fancy beans, grow 4 times larger. I don't have any of the beans on me, the dark beans, but they are 4 times larger than your standard coffees. Huge, huge beans. Richest coffee that we have, a little bit kind of just buttery. The dark extra fancy, I would say, is the sweetest of all our coffees, and the smoothest. You guys spread the word. I appreciate it. But you don't want to tell too many people because I do have some samplers of whites. Yep. If you tell too many people, out of all those people, maybe 20% don't like me. But now 20% of 1 million people is 200,000 people don't like me. And the people who don't like me, they don't say anything, right? They're just gonna take a note. I don't like this guy, and they're just gonna leave. They're not gonna say anything. All right, let me do some white samplers. This is an extra fancy white, so I do need a little bit more. $7 is okay. So here's the white bean. This is this is the one that'll give you a buzz. It doesn't quite taste like coffee. It tastes like a sweet corn tea, something more of a corn tea along those lines. Doesn't quite taste like coffee, but will give you a really strong buzz. Maybe like 5 to 10 times. I would say 10 times the buzz, even on another level of your dark coffee. Peaberry is a mutation. I always do that. Is a $1 star on extra fancy. I hate when I do that. I gotta reprogram because then it's like just I appreciate you spreading the word about the coffee. I do. You really don't have to do that. But I do appreciate it. Thank you. So you just bought a bag of the white coffee, which is roasted raw. That's why it's called white. White coffee was first introduced by the Dutch brothers in 2014. Not first. It's like how Columbus discovered America. They've been doing it in Southeast Asia for hundreds of years, but it was the Dutch brothers who discovered it, and they brought it in 2014. and 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 it didn't really catch on. It's kind of nutty. They do it with an espresso. They mix it with like a lot of sugar and cinnamon and things like that. I think the Kona white is different because of how sweet it is and how low in jitters it's going to be. So, because of how ripe our coffee starts, it's going to be way sweeter when you actually drink it, even when it's raw, and it's going to not give you the jitters. Sometimes some raw coffees will give you the jitters because smaller beans tend to have more tannins in it. They tend to have more toxins that prevent bugs from eating them, but those same toxins, caffeine included, is what's giving you the jitters. I would grind the coffee just like you're brewing it normally. Grind it into as fine as you can, and then brew it normally. You can also take a teaspoon of it and put it into, you know, as a dust, put it into the existing coffee and just mix it up and drink it as a dust. I appreciate that, Just. Man, I wish where I was where you were. I used to love going out, just making friends with random people. But then, but then I got drugged. I got roofied, and now I'm very reluctant to talk to anyone. I would. White with medium is a great way to do it. Another great way to brew the white is take half of the white, grind it up into a powder, put it at the bottom of your coffee maker in the filter, and then take medium, grind it coarse, put it on top of it, let it brew. It'll come out really good. So, lots of ways to brew the white. Letting it steep is a great way to do it. French press, great way to do it. This is the one for the energy boost. Gave me the thumbs up. So, yeah, so this is a 2 ounce sample. This you can will make you about a pot or like 3 or 4 big cups of white coffee. You only need to use 5 beans in the method where you mix it with your regular coffee just to get the effect, and you eat the beans, you eat the powder. So if you do it that way, these 2 ounces will last, give you like 28 servings. Otherwise, you're talking about 4 servings of coffee. Just do another one of these. Well, then that's great. I miss those days being young, going out, making friends, so much innocence. All right, guys, 2 ounce extra fancy, but I'm not trying to make any more friends. So let's get roofied. Got roofied too many times. I got too many people playing games, driving a wedge between me and my wife. We're a broken family now. They broke us. They broke us with their lies. Medium pea berry. Mm, I think it's probably a common practice, though, ancient practice. Just to, you got to see, you got to see what kind of couple these people will be. You got to try to break them, because if you don't break them, then life will break them. What movies? Huh? Karate Kid. Here's a medium pea berry. Kung Fu Hustle. Medium pea berry. The medium pea berry is the densest of all our beans, the smoothest one. Um, the rarest one. It takes 100 pounds. We have to run 100 pounds of our coffee over these grates just to collect the pea berry. Mm-hmm. Raiders of the Lost Ark. Another light sampler here. If you guys, I would say the Hawaiian Light is the sweetest of all our coffees. Even sweeter than our higher grade lights. As you go higher grade, the light coffees tend to have more acidity in them, and so our Hawaiian. There you go. Not allowed to talk about God with my wife, though, so not allowed. So you guys go talk to her. But she doesn't like it when people talk to her about Jesus. So the most alkaline of all our coffees, I would say, is the dark roast. But all of our coffee is extremely low acidity. Most low acid coffees are only low acid because they're roasted extremely dark. As you roast an acidic coffee darker, the acidity actually becomes bitterness. This is our 6 ounce of our dark extra fancy. So the acidity becomes bitterness when you roast coffee very dark. And so a lot of these coffees that are labeled low acidity coffee are just really dark coffees. Whereas our coffee is naturally low acid because of how we pick the coffee. We only pick coffee that's overripe and ready to fall off the trees. So the enzymes in the coffee naturally convert, and the sunlight naturally convert all of the acidity into more sugar. So even our light roast has almost no acidity to it. This is a bag of our uh, yellow Caturra medium. This is the last of the yellow Caturras, and this is the rarest. This one is the only coffee that's coming off a different tree. It's a little bit denser. There's only about maybe 3 or 4 pounds left. So I'll give you guys a chance to bid on one of these yellow Caturras. So this is the last. I'm not gonna have more of this until next season, probably October. And this is the rarest of all our coffees. It's 8 ounce bag. It's more savory. It's actually rare no matter where you grow it because it's actually a sub variety of of Arabica, where the fruit doesn't turn red, and that's why it's called the yellow Caturra. There's only one farmer growing this coffee in all of Kona. He produced maybe about 500 pounds of this last year, and I picked up all 500 pounds. This is the last of it. I am going to have some more Hawaiian grade yellow Caturra next week, but this is the Kona, which is the higher grade stuff. And so when you're going to notice this coffee is just way more savory and sweet. $16. That was like a free giveaway. Man, I gotta stop doing these $1 starts for the higher grade coffees. All right. So that was our yellow Caturra. Great deal on that, actually. If you want a medium estate, this is our best price. This is our best deal right now. $21 for 8 ounces. This is 100% Kona, which puts it at $42 a pound, which is just a super bargain. This was roasted 8 days ago, which is why I'm putting it on sale. I just roasted too much of it. Normally, I'd be doing this for 25 or 30, but we're doing these for 21 today. The medium roast is fruity. It's the best one for an espresso. And it includes the top four grades of Kona coffee. So it includes prime, number one, fancy, and extra fancy, which is 16, 17, 18, and 19 screen coffee. It's from this season. It's organically grown. We don't spray it with any chemical pesticides. We're only using naturally occurring soil funguses and soil bacteria. That's another reason why this coffee really won't give you the jitters. Shouldn't give you any acid reflux or indigestion. If it does, I will give you 100% of your money back because, yeah, it should not give you any acid reflux or indigestion. We pick the coffee overripe. We're only picking the coffee that's soft and ready to fall off the trees. And as a result of that, the amount of sugar that builds up in the coffee is exponentially greater. Here's a dark estate, also at the $42 a pound price. So the coffee is just off the charts in terms of how sweet it is, in terms of the acidity levels, almost none. And it's not because of how we roast the coffee. We're not, doing that trick where you roast coffee very dark and it becomes low acid. Even though it's low acid now, it's burning your stomach. It's got the carcinogens from roasting the coffee dark. Whereas even our dark roast is relatively light. It's more like a medium dark from Starbucks. Um, Caramel, toasted caramel sweetness. You don't really have to add cream or sugar to it. Won't give you a bad aftertaste in your mouth. And that's really comes down to how we pick the coffee. We only pick the overripe beans. We're only picking the coffee that's soft and ready to fall off the trees. And so, with that much sugar to start, it makes it, I mean, the flavor is just tasty. Only way to describe it is the flavor is tasty. Now, if you guys want a 12-ounce bag here, I'll put on a flash sale. Actually, there's a 12-ounce bag of the dark, and the dark roast Hawaiian. The Hawaiian coffee is the least dense of our beans, but it's 90% as good as the Kona. It's something you can drink every day. Most people can't tell the difference. Um, so very close to Kona coffee. Tastes like Kona coffee. You should, I think you should freeze it if you're not going to drink it within a month. That'll actually keep it ideally fresh, almost as fresh as the fresh roast. People do say you shouldn't freeze your coffee. It does marginally change the flavor. And if you're going to drink your coffee within a month of buying it, then you definitely should not freeze it. But if you're going to drink it from after a month, then that's the ideal way. It'll stay good and even fresh in the freezer for up to a year. And you just grind what you need. Put them into the coffee jars. I've got the 6-ounce bags of the extra fancy dark. I do those for 25. So the extra fancy is a little bit more expensive, but yeah, this is the 6-ounce bag of our extra fancy dark. And these are the biggest beans that we have. Mm, what I would do, Angesus, is keep the bag in the freezer and only grind what you need as you need it. That's what I would suggest. Although the condensation can be a problem that you got to figure out. It's better to buy it freshly roasted. It's way better to buy it freshly roasted than to keep it in the freezer. But you can keep it in the freezer and it'll stay good, almost fresh, if you freeze it right away. But better to buy every week. Better to buy regularly, every 2 weeks, You may not want to rely on every week because I might be 3 days late and now you're out of coffee and you're going to be upset at me. You should vacuum seal it before putting it in the freezer, yes. I'm going to try to put this on a flash sale, but here's a bag of our 12-ounce dark for 22, and put this on flash sale after this. So Hawaiian coffee, coming off the same trees as the Kona, tastes almost the same. It's just less dense. It's not as pretty to look at, and that's why it's half the price. But it's same flavor profile, hey dispense, same benefits, same low acidity, coming off the same trees. It's picked by the same people. It's just about 30% comes off as, and I thought I had this as a flash sale, but I guess I don't. Hmm. Yeah, I do. So this dark roast will be in the bin as a flash sale, not letting me run it as a flash sale. Here we go. $22.75. If you guys want it, the next 30 minutes in the bin. This is our dark Hawaiian. This dark Hawaiian is the freshest coffee we have right now, actually. It was roasted Saturday morning, so extremely fresh coffee. If you want the freshest coffee we have, it is the dark Hawaiian right now and the light Hawaiian. Both were roasted on Saturday morning, so yesterday morning. And so when you get it, it'll just barely be ready to be drunk. I also have this light Hawaiian here. Give you guys a chance to bid on it. 12-ounce bag, light Hawaiian. This one will give you probably twice as much of a buzz as your dark roast. It's got more of that trigonally in it, so you definitely feel the buzz. You'll feel it in your joints. A lot of people actually say they get inflammation from drinking dark coffee in their joints. The light coffee will do the opposite, and it's gonna make you feel like you ate vegetables. Definitely stimulates your appetite as if you ate a bowl of spinach or something like that. And you guys are always paying $15. It's too little, but one person gets it for 15. So also do this one for 22.50, 23 rather. You like your women barely ready to drink. I don't know. I like it. I like them. I like the ones that don't give me acid reflux. Sorry, guys. The poops. You don't want the ones that give you the poops. That's even worse. I had a friend who gave me the poops. Every time I saw her, I'd get the poops. And I think I gave them the poops too. It was a bad situation. You ever have someone like that? It was a bad situation. Someone else said that. Mick something said that. One of the Micks said that. Okay, what are we doing next? So that was our light Hawaiian. Let me see if I put that on flash sale for you guys. Not letting me do the flash. Past marriage is like a deck of cards. All right, what are we doing here? All right, so if you guys want this Hawaiian light, it's on flash sale in the bin here for the next 5 minutes for $22.75. I do have some Mactus in the shell. Some people didn't like it. I don't have decaf. Marriage. Who came up with that idea? All right. What are we doing next? We did the Hawaiian light. That's in the bin there. Flash sale if you guys want it. I'll run. And the light roast gives you the buzz. The light roast tastes like coffee. Makes brews like coffee, but gives you maybe 2 or 3 times the buzz. Even gives you a little bit of a body buzz. Not quite as strong as the white, obviously, but it's up there. So if you want to kind of get an idea of that, what I'm talking about in terms of the buzz, most light roasts are too sour to drink. Whereas our light roast isn't sour at all, so it is worth trying. I wonder. I don't know if this is misogynist. It probably is because if you have to ask, but I think all wars, if it was just guys in the world, there wouldn't be any war. No wars, because we only start fighting each other over things that don't. If it was just guys, there would be no wars. We wouldn't have to do anything. No one would be yelling at us at home, and then we wouldn't be all worked up and in a bad mood all the time. I mean, it would be a mess, and everything would be just. It would be a mess. It would be garbage everywhere, and the buildings wouldn't even have straight lines on them. But there wouldn't be any war. It would be a mess, though. We'd all be eating like I don't know. You wouldn't even cook. You'd probably just eat everything raw. All right, guys, let's do some cacao nibs. I don't think that was misogynistic, actually. But then, a lot of times, if you have to think about it, if you have to ask, it probably is. The Neanderthal life, that's right. It's the secret dream of all men. Once we get old enough, we're like, spent our life chasing women. We should have just been sitting in groups of men doing nothing, piling up cans. These are our cacao nibs. Someone asked me something else. What do I drink at night? I don't drink coffee at night. Unga bunga. There you go. One day that's what my wife is going to think. That's the dream. That's the dream. Here are the nibs. 4-ounce cacao nibs. Cacao nibs are raw chocolate. It's the chocolate bean that's been broken up into little bits. It tastes like a chocolate. Tastes like a chocolate nut. It tastes like a dark chocolate nut. You can eat them right out of the bag. They're pretty good. Yep, they're definitely pretty good. They're healthy, right? There's no sugar added. Just tastes like dark chocolate. Very, very healthy. When I get hungry, I'll just eat these. I'll snack on these all day. You can process these further and make them into chocolate, but I don't see the point of that. You can just buy the chocolate. This is cacao butter and dark chocolate mixed in together. One day, guys, my wife's gonna feel the same way one day. Although I'm afraid I'm gonna outlive her because I'm a lot healthier. Okay, maybe I'll feel that way about my wife. I don't know if I will though. I feel like I'm just be like I'm gonna wait until I die. It's not even that long, you know. If she dies at 60 and I die at 80, I'm just waiting 20 years. Probably not even enough time off. I needed more time off. It's actually not that long if you think about it. All right, what are we doing now? We did the dark, we did the medium, we did the light. Another bag of 8-ounce extra fancy white. If you guys want this 8-ounce extra fancy white, upgrade to the younger model. I don't think it's worth it. I've looked at the younger models. It's all the same. Let's focus on my daughter. Yeah. Yeah, we try to be really, really sweet in front of our daughter so that she has a good she has a good sense. No yelling, no fighting. It was hard to do because we used to fight a lot, right? When my wife is my ex-girlfriend, and when she was my girlfriend, we used to argue. I wanted to be right, but now that she's my ex-girlfriend, it doesn't matter who's right. I got these chocolate covered Mac nuts. I'm actually going to charge you my cost for them because I'm not going to sell them. It's kind of like those chocolate bars that I had. They're just too expensive. Um, so this is my cost: 6.7 ounces of chocolate covered Mac nuts. Still more expensive than the Mac nuts you guys are buying in the stores. But this is like a premium company. It's Manoa chocolate, so it is a premium Mac nut. The chocolate is extremely velvety smooth. Definitely fresher, smoother, more velvety than like the other Mac nuts you guys are getting. But I'm charging you guys my cost for them because I got 20, whatever it's left. I think I got 20 of them left. I'm not gonna sell these anymore. I need to make my own Mac nuts. But if you want a premium, high quality in a nice packaging as a gift, Hawaiian, 100% Hawaiian chocolate, 100% Hawaiian Mac nuts. The Mac nuts are huge, and I'm just clearing these out. I just got them too. I got them in last week, and I just, same with the chocolate bars. They're too premium for me to be able to actually sell them. So I'm just gonna sell them at my cost here, and you guys can get. These are well packaged, in retail boxes, and you'll get 6.7 bunch of Magnum chocolate covered magnets here. One chocolate. This is cheaper than buying it in the stores, definitely. Hawaiian chocolate is unique because of the fact that it's less bitter and more fruity than other chocolates. It's considered, you know, it's considered an exotic chocolate and some of the best, just like our coffee, because of that active volcano. Everything here is just way richer, and that richness goes into the nut especially. So seeds, nuts grow really well here. Hmm? Okay. I'll take over as soon as you come back, I guess. TMS P? Okay. Okay. And third, the sink. Okay. Okay. Where you guys going? Ah. All right. What are we doing? We did the white coffee. Let me run that again. It's sea salt dark chocolate. Yep. Definitely cheaper than Costco. They do have this at Costco. The chocolate. I'm charging you less than Costco, but I'm just trying to sell them. I don't want to. I need to get rid of them. No, I'm not gonna be able to sell them long run. So he liked the bulk chocolate. Nice. Yeah, the dark. Yes, you're right. What do you want me to? What do you need? I will do that right away. I'm learning. I'm learning to be a real man, not a boyfriend. I'm starting to get good at it, but it is hard. It's not easy. All right, what's next here? I did that white coffee again. Let's see if I could do that on flash sale. All right, this is on flash sale in the bin here. You're exactly right, Izzy. I used to have this thing where I thought I got through to her, and I thought she was gonna come around and say, "Ed, you're right," but it was always the opposite, and that's when I so always the opposite. Yeah, they're doing 2 ounces now for $20. Exit. That's what they want for their chocolate. 2 ounces for $20. I'm just like, I can't sell this chocolate anymore. I need to find my own chocolate. It's too much. Yeah. What about what I want to argue, Izzy? I hate when they don't engage when I want to argue. I want to argue. What about when I want to argue? Too bad. It hurts. It hurts. Yeah, keep it to yourself. Go on whatnot and go talk to everyone else about it. It helps. All right. So we got that white coffee in the bin there, 32.50 if you want it. We have a bulk dark chocolate here. I have a few of these left. These are actually worth it. Like you can get 4 ounces. It's hard, but I'm learning. 4 ounces. 4 ounces of bulk dark chocolate, baking chocolate here. This is Hawaiian baking chocolate, and no takers, no bidders. Carla Webb gonna get it for $1. Only bidder here. This is 4 ounces of our dark Hawaiian baking chocolate, and this chocolate is fruitier and less bitter than your typical dark chocolate. So you will not, um, you will notice it is fruitier and less bitter. I think that was my only one there, so I got rid of that. Um, we did the Mac nuts. I'm gonna do one 8 ounce pea berry, guys. $1 start. I don't know what you guys are gonna pay for this. This is 8 ounces of our pea berry coffee. Yeah, that's my last one for now. Exit. I gotta go take some inventory. This is our pea berry dark, which is the rarest of all our coffees. This coffee takes 100 pounds of our Kona estate to make 1 pound of pea berry. This is a Kona pea berry, so it's not just the Hawaiian pea berry you guys are seeing online. It's a cleaner, denser pea berry that doesn't have any defects in it. And this coffee was also just roasted Saturday morning. Super fresh coffee. Normally, you go to the store, you're paying $56 for 7 ounces. So this is super sale for $18. Even at $20 is actually a really amazing deal. I usually get $8 or $9 for 2 ounces of this. So at $20, you guys are getting a steal on this. And that'll be my only bag of that. Maybe I'll do one more. One more of these guys. Exit. Have a good day. Last bag of our dark 8 ounce pea berries. An 8 ounce bag just roasted over the weekend. I think yesterday morning. And this dark taste is going to be the richest of all our dark roasts. It's going to be even buttery. It's got a really strong oil to it because of how dense the bean it is. It's a little bit sweeter on one hand, but also nuttier because of the density of that bean. You get a broader flavor profile than your standard Kona coffees. And this is usually $56 for 7 ounces. So at 16, you guys are only cheating yourselves. And I'm not. This will be my last 8 ounce bag here. Just doesn't seem like we can get high enough for me to justify auctioning these. But I do like giving you guys a chance to get one of the larger bags a few times in the show. I used to be funny, but for some reason, I think after I drank 4 cups of that white coffee, I don't know what happened. I think I had a bit of a nervous breakdown, and the coffee is just not working. I'm only drinking 1 cup, and it just doesn't seem to be working. I will do a bag of this medium pea berry just so you guys can also. So 1 bag of the medium, and this one is maybe the fruitiest of all our coffees. It's so 1 8-ounce bag of the medium pea berry here. It's fruity, it's sweet, it's buttery, and this one, if you're starting to get into specialty coffees, you don't just want the dark kind of boldness. You want some of that fruitiness. You want to be able to taste the flavors of the region. Then this medium pea berry definitely is the best deal you're going to get. The best one you want to try. Between this and the medium extra fancy, it's the most complex flavor profile. It's a little bit nutty, and that nuttiness turns into like a buttery coating on your tongue. So really nice flavor to it. I think that's the only medium pea berry I'm going to do here. I'll do 1 8-ounce dark Kona. This is an estate Kona, and this was roasted about 8 days ago. This one combines all the top 4 grades of coffee. Um, so it includes the biggest beans, extra fancy, but also includes. If you get me to 600 shares, I will do a free 8-ounce bag of this for you guys as a giveaway. For you guys to try. And this is an 8-ounce bag. So you're paying, normally Kona coffee, you're looking at 65, 72 bucks a pound. So this is a half pound of that. I'm letting you guys bid on it. Should try to get more than 14, but if that's what it goes for, I will accept it. And the dark roast tastes like a toasted caramel, dark chocolate caramel. Uh, Make this in your espresso, in your pour overs, even your coffee machine. It's going to come out amazing. So that's our 8-ounce dark there. Thanks, Kate. And this is the best deal we have right now. Although some of you guys are getting the pea berry for the same price, so the prices on here are a little bit irrational. But you're always getting a deal, so at least you got that. Someone asked for 2 pounds of mac nuts in the shell. Here's some mac nuts in the shell, guys. 20-second sudden death, mac nuts in the shell. I got some 3-pound bags, but I'm gonna have to charge you 80 bucks for them, because and that's for the Hawaiian. Because you guys were getting, some of you got away with like 65 bucks, and that was just, it was painful. But if you want one, I'll do a 3-pound bag of the dark Hawaiian. $7, $8. All right, I'll give you. So here's the dark, 3 pounds of our dark Hawaiian. This was just roasted on Saturday morning, so it's actually the freshest one that we have. And 3 pounds, you could throw it in your freezer and just grind what you need. Take a pound out at a time, and that'll keep it really good. 3 pounds will make you what? 32, 48. So it'll make you 100 to 150 cups of coffee. And thanks for that supporting comment, Nina. This coffee is the unique thing. I think that the key to this coffee is it's guaranteed not to give you any acid reflux or indigestion. So if you guys have been drinking coffee for a long time, we don't have a white pea berry. We have a light pea berry, and I think the pea berry will have slightly higher levels of trigonolane. So I definitely noticed the pea berry is a lot stronger. The light pea berry is, yeah, so it's a little bit more, has more acidity than our standard light roast, but it is going to be stronger, bordering on a white coffee. A little bit fruitier, denser bean. When you freeze it, you should put it, vacuum sealed bag is best, or even a glass jar. You definitely want to keep it well sealed from any surrounding odors. You can keep it in our bag, but our bag is actually not vacuum sealed. No takers on the light pea berry. Super interesting. All right. We did the medium pea berry. I'll do some more mac nuts in the shell. Here's some more mac nuts in the shell. I have to get a little. That makes a lot of sense. Once it's frozen, grind it. Grind it frozen. Grind it. Don't let it. Don't defrost it. Just grind it and brew it right away. I'll do one more of these. 2 pounds of mac nuts. Some people have said in the summers when the mac nuts get shipped, they're getting moldy. So if it does get moldy, I will give you a full refund. It shouldn't, but in some places, that has been happening. You crack these with a hammer, or you get a mac nut cracker from Amazon, and that's how you crack these. I need to use the bathroom, so I'm going to take a bathroom break. Let's stare out there for a little bit. Are you into goth undead lady and like vampires? Do you think the first backlash? Can you guys hear me? Here's another Mac nut. Do you guys think the first time there was backlash against mansplaining was when, you know, someone on the street came up to you and you already know about Jesus, but they really want to tell you about Jesus. And so they start telling people. So it's like when one person who knows about Jesus tries to tell someone else who they don't think knows about Jesus, but actually they know about Jesus. And now, now they're just mansplaining about Jesus. And that's where, the origins of mansplaining started. It was because, you know, how annoying it is when someone comes up to you and they try to tell you about Jesus, and you're like, I know about Jesus, but they insist that you don't. And you're like, I've known about Jesus longer than you've been alive, Sonny. But you don't want to be rude. You don't want to discourage this young person. They're trying their best, but they're just telling you stuff like you don't know. There you are. You don't have the key? Isn't it in the car? I don't know. Oh, there it is. Hey guys, where you guys going? Maybe I'll come with you. No? I'm hanging out with my children. Oh my gosh. Okay. Hello, darling. Hi, darling. Oh, you got your meerkat. I'll see you later. Bye, guys. What? Hey, darling. She's not like a cat. She's so sweet. Oh. I actually think Jesus became Uther Pendragon, and also who was also the first emperor of China. And I also think Jesus was Caesar Germanicus, who actually died in Antioch 3 years before Jesus died. And, if Jesus was resurrected and he was actually Caesar Germanicus in disguise, then he probably got resurrected before because he knew, right? Throughout when he was going to get crucified, he knew he was going to get crucified and he knew he was going to get resurrected. So it probably happened before. He probably said, these guys can't kill me. This already happened. And I just got resurrected. This is my second time getting resurrected. This is old news. I'm gonna waltz into here. I'm just gonna say a bunch of shit, and then they're gonna try to kill me, and I'm gonna get resurrected. They can't stop me. This might be controversial, but I always thought white people were the lost tribes of Israel. Did you guys ever think that? You guys never thought that? And there's like the Danish. They said that's the tribe of Dan. The Danish tribe of Dan. Makes sense. The Irish. I always thought all the names of people who end in ish, those were various lost tribes. So the Danish, the Irish. You thought the same thing. See, I'm not the only one. Swedish, Jewish, they're all lost tribes. There's 12 of them. We only found one of them. But the other 11, they're out there. Just because they're lost doesn't mean they're gone. We just couldn't find them. They probably forgot. Danish, Irish, Swedish, Spanish ish. uh, so coffee thoughts. I think we're done selling coffee for the day. Danish, the tribe of Dan, tribe of Dan. And I actually think Joseph, the famed Joseph, started China. He was the Zhou dynasty. Look it up. We just spelled it with a Z, but it was the Zhou dynasty. I think a lot of weird things. All right. I don't know if we're going to sell any more coffee today. I actually think Jesus started the Qin dynasty. Was he had the Qin? That's why they call it the Qin dynasty. You guys have no idea what I'm talking about. You guys got no idea what I'm talking about. All right, guys. Let me get out of the sun here. Here's some dark Hawaiian. That's right. I think that was Jesus. Was he? I think when he got resurrected, he went to China and he became the emperor of China. So I think China was started by two Jewish guys, Joseph and then Jesus. I think China was actually the plebe settlement. I actually think the common people in Rome went to China where it was safe. And that's why Chinese people, you know, don't they look pretty average because they were the plebes. Okay, here I go talking random things. You guys don't need to listen to this anymore. But did I ever tell you? So the emperor of China's name was Shi Huangdi, right? But if you break those down into the into monosyllables, it becomes Sir who hanged. So if you're like Scottish, you would be like, that's the Sir who hanged. And then he died in the same way that Uther Pendragon died, which was they sought the everlasting waters of everlasting life. And instead they drank mercury and they died because someone poisoned them. And they were both womanizers. And they both their heir, the name of their heir was both King Arthur. In Chinese, the guy's son, his name was Kin Ursher, which is how you would say it, how you would say King Arthur if you were Chinese, because we don't have the th. So that this guy and King Ursher had an advisor who ruled the kingdom with him, who was a eunuch. And Merlin, as you guys know, was a eunuch, or he dressed in the same dress as eunuchs. So that's my spiel on. No one cares. All right, guys. I think what we're gonna do is send you guys off on a raid. Unless you guys have any last requests, if you guys have the free shipping, this is the Jesus show. I could go on and on about Jesus. Right? Jesus went to the heavens, and we think, oh, what does that mean? But maybe he had a spaceship. Maybe he's still there. He was king of the demons. He said there's a kingdom greater than Rome, right? And maybe he was talking about China, and then he took it over. That's what I think. I think he took over China. The dragon, right? The dragon came and snatched baby Jesus, and we think that was the devil, but maybe it was China in a dragon spaceship. You really never know. and their pictures, their depictions of the first emperor of China. They said he had blonde hair, blue eyes, and the character for the name of the guy is the white barbarian. That's what his name means in China. So there's a lot of stuff. All right, I don't know what we're doing again. All and the emperor of China, he actually didn't want people to know who he was became before he became emperor. So he erased all the history books. He didn't want people to know who he was. All right. I don't know what we're doing anymore. Someone asked for something and I don't remember. Um, yes, let me run some items. Yellow Katura. Sorry. All right, the yellow Katura is going to be expensive. I only have them in 8 ounces right now. I can do it. I'll do it for like 30, like 32. Has to be a little bit more than 30. Let me find it here. If I can even find it. Here it is. And these are the last of my yellows. So these are more savory. It's got a savoriness to it that you don't expect to happen in coffee, almost like an onion. It's got a little plum wine flavor to it. You guys are trying to get. You want me to keep telling you guys about Jesus? Jesus said, "I'm not." He also said, "I'm not here to bring peace. I'm here to bring the sword." And what else did he say? You guys remember how the Christians burned all the magic books at Ephesus after Jesus died? Well, what did Uther Pendragon do? He declared war on magic. You guys don't want to hear about my theories on Jesus anymore. I get to a point in the show where I just stop talking about coffee, and I think we've reached that point. So I'm sorry. um, so they burned the books on magic. You guys remember that? And that was said to be, it wasn't a direct command from Jesus, but they were saying Jesus inspired these people to do that. And actually, who else did that? Uther Pendragon burned all the books on magic. If you remember, that's why Arthur couldn't use magic, because they burned all the books. And guess who else burned all the books on magic? The first emperor of China. Sure, who hanged. So I was thinking of making a movie. I think Anthony Hopkins would make a great old Jesus. It'd be kind of anyway. God help the people. Help them. Egyptians. Jesus grew up in Egypt. I also have this theory, Trim, that if he was the first emperor of China, then all the Germanic tribes come from tribe, each of the offsprings of Jesus. That's why there's so many Germanic tribes. But it starts to not make sense. I'm still trying to put it together. But I'm pretty sure he was Trim. I don't know. They made a big effort to emphasize that, but we don't know. Right now, they want to say he was Middle Eastern. I don't know about that. Brad Pitt, and then and then in his old age, he would be Anthony Hopkins. Like, and he like deleted. He became the opposite of Jesus. He had 100 concubines. He deleted history. He was mad. You know, it was like Pet Cemetery. You know, when you come back from the dead, right? You're messed up. And so after Jesus got resurrected, he was like Pet Cemetery. They never talk about what happens after he got it resurrected, but it was like Pet Cemetery, I think. If you guys never saw Pet Cemetery, just yeah, don't listen to me. This is the devil talking. Don't listen to me. You shouldn't even be here. I already told you. The coffee, we're not selling any more coffee. You guys ever see Pet Cemetery? Like after you die, you come back and you're just ravenous. I used to think my farm was like Pet Cemetery. You know, people would come and work at my farm and they'd leave a completely different person. It was like Pet Cemetery. So you people would send their kids here to die just to bury them because for whatever reason they needed to get them out of their hometowns, send them off to Hawaii, bury them on my farm, and they wake up one day and they're like Pet Cemetery. They come out crazy. They get exposed to me and they just come out crazy. You know, my wife won't let me watch horror movies, so all I can do is fantasize about watching them. She won't let me watch horror movies. So it's like sometimes when my wife goes on a trip by herself, that's what I do. I'm like, finally I can watch horror movies. I just binge and watch horror movies. All right. Are there any last requests? I'm sorry I subjected you guys. I told you guys, you know, I'm gonna try to tell you guys about Jesus. And I didn't lie. I told you exactly what I was gonna do, and then I did it. It's history. They actually made so here's the last thing. They actually they found that the I don't want to talk about it anymore. It's just you guys know what I'm talking about. All right, so I think I'm gonna go. I might be back later today. Thank you guys for supporting the show. Thank you guys for listening to my theories. I don't know. I don't know. The Anunnaki. You mean the reptile people? It makes sense, right? Dinosaurs have been around for millions of years. One of them probably evolved into a smart person, maybe even birds. And so they became the first reptile people. Cut myself off. You're right. You're right, Crystal.